This is Required Watching, where we watch the essential films from lists of cinematic influencers and look at them through the lens of learning about filmmaking and how to move forward. I'm your host Trey Epps, and today this movie this movie is written by James Gunn, starring Chadwick Iwuji. So sorry about the pronunciation. Bradley Cooper, Palm Clementif, Dave Bautista, Karen Gillan, Vin Diesel, Chris Pratt, and this movie is about Peter Quill, who's still reeling from the loss of Gamora, and he rallies his team to defend the universe and one of their own. It's a mission that could mean the end of the Guardians if not successful. This is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
We were gone for quite a while. But no matter what happens next, the galaxy still needs its guardians.
Hello, we come in peace.
Come on, Drax. Seriously, dude?
No! Ow!
Listen, we are watching this movie because we watch a lot of movies here, and honestly, it felt important to talk about. I'll take these off. Why not? This movie felt particularly important to talk about as this is the end of the Guardians trilogy that honestly feels like the most poignant movie in Marvel for quite some time. It felt like the most impressive movie in Marvel in quite some time. It felt quite satisfying in a run of movies from the cinematic universe that has sometimes been flat. And this one had a lot of tension and drama and laughs and it had a lot of things that I think I was hoping for in a Marvel movie and over the last year or so that I was failing to get. So I thought it important to talk about it. But I guess in order to talk about this movie, we should talk about Jonathan Majors. And him and his character Kang do not show up in this film whatsoever, and I think that's an absolute great thing. And that has very little to do with the troubles that Jonathan Majors is going through in real life. But I felt like it's important to talk about because I think there's a lot of people who I don't know. I feel like people it's very decisive. People are either rallying behind or against, and I would say up until the allegations, I was very much for Jonathan Majors. I think he's a tremendous actor, and I think there's nothing that can take that away from him. Um, I think, yeah, and I think I won't have an opinion on what's going on with him. I think there's evidence to prove or disprove the things that the allegations that he has against him. So I won't speak about that. But in terms of his character Kang, I do feel like it's important to talk about like what a shame it is that Kang is failing in the way that it is. Kang, again, not Jonathan Majors, but Kang. He showed up at in Loki, and I can't even tell you the amount of joy that everyone felt when he was there. And Loki, which I think was a great series, can't wait for season 2. But the joy that people had for him there just kind of isn't translating into some of the other movies and some of the other moments in which he's showing up. And I think that's a shame. I think as we get more in line with the multiverse, it feels like we are inching into the multiverse and we're not really deep diving into it. We're not really getting into it the way we should. And it's a shame because I think Jonathan Majors as an actor really handles the way, these different Kangs. And it makes me a bit sad to know that Kang is not involved with one of the best Marvel films in the last few years. And I think that all stems from Marvel fatigue. And there's a lot of series, there's a lot of movies, there's a lot going on. I think Star Wars is entering that phase now where there just seems to be a lot going on with a certain series, with a certain world. And when you start to lose your sense of being grounded, it's hard for audiences to keep up. When there's a new series, new characters, new worlds within this, this major world that is being built, it feels like we're getting a bit of whiplash. And I think in terms of Marvel specifically, I don't remember a time where I know that I most certainly, the completionist side of me has kicked in, where I felt like I needed to watch these films less than me wanting to watch them because of the next exciting thing to come through. More so because of the sheer disappointment that I felt after a few of these films, but neither here nor there. Um, Another thing that kind of struck me as I was gearing into this is all of the actor talk about leaving the roles of the characters. We had Zoe Saldana saying it's the last time she'll play Gamora. We had Dave Bautista saying it's the last time he'll play Drax. I'm pretty sure we had someone else speaking about kind of their last time and being able to put these characters to bed. And I went into this thinking, oh my gosh, someone's gonna die. And I don't think the Guardians as a whole in the Marvel universe play a huge part, but I think when you look at the series, when you look at what Guardians of the Galaxy is, the Fast and the Furious of of the series, where they're all about, these misfit toys being brought together, and they're all about their family. They're all about keeping each other safe and doing what's right, even if it's a bit gray and they have to do some things wrong in order to get there. So even in order to see some of these character deaths, I was really excited about, and of course, nothing happened. Um, of course, after seeing the film, my expectations, I think my expectations were slightly higher, just because, again, the deaths, knowing that this was, everyone kept talking about how this was the last last movie in the series, and it didn't even occur to me that that is nowhere near true. At the very end, spoiler alert, we get a note saying that, a little end card that says that the legendary Star Lord will return, and I didn't even think about the idea that, of course, these characters are going to come back in some way, shape, or form. It may not be all of them the way we know them now, but they will return because we still need to make money. We still need to have these crossovers. We still need to do um, business, to be perfectly honest. Um, but I am hoping that there are a lot of stories that are that people are waiting to tell with these characters. And yeah, I listen, where I sit with the MCU right now is I'm a completionist. I think I've put a lot of time, effort into these films and into this universe, and much like a lot of you, I I'm waiting for it to pick up. I'm waiting for that culmination that is, the next few phases of this thing to really fall in love and find these moments where we can all collectively have this cinematic gasp, celebration or sadness, like we did with Endgame. But honestly, we'll see. Um, should we do some fun facts? All right. Cosmos Sex is female in the film because it's a tribute to Laika. Laika, the Russian dog, one of the first animals in space. James Gunn and Chadwick Iwuji worked very, very hard to make the high evolutionary, dark, dark and irredeemable character, focusing on his traits of single-mindedness, narcissism, and zealotry, traits held by the most horrific figures in history. Nathan Fillion has played different characters in all three films. Of course, in this one he played Master Karja. He also appeared as a CGI character, monstrous inmate, and in Volume Two he was on film posters in the background as the actor Simon Williams, aka Wonder Man. Um, Karen Gillan, I'm sure you guys seen this on social media. Karen Gillan accidentally scheduled a couples therapy session on the day she was shooting a scene for the movie, and subsequently appeared on the session in full Nebula makeup. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. It's hilarious. Um, and a wonderful callback is when Drax refuses to share his Arcnuts with Mantis. It's because of the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, where she ate all of his without permission. I thought that was funny. I actually really love the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. I probably should have reviewed it. It was really, really good. If you haven't checked it out, do. One of my favorite things is that this is the first time the MCU movie has an uncensored fuck. Yeah, swearing. Swearing happened in this film, and it happened once, and apparently Feige approved it wholeheartedly, and no regrets. So there's that. There's some maturity in the House of Mouse, which I personally love, and I like that we're able to see some of these people go through things that allow them to say, bad words sometimes, because we all have those moments. Um, yeah, I think I'll stop there. Um, I I don't know, or I'm not sure if I ever remembered the fact that James Gunn written and directed all three of these movies, and it's such a shame to see him go to DC after this. And it took me a while to remember that he was actually fired from the Guardians movie, or taken off the Guardians movie for a bit, and then he was reinstated, and we don't have to get into all of that stuff. But I think it was really fun. I think it's. I think. I think I'm now more interested in seeing where DC lands, just in the way that James Gunn creative mind works, um, as a director, as a producer, as a writer, um, to Feige, who I believe has only really produced. I think those are really different heads of state, and it all comes down to creative decisions. But I'm interested to see how they both play it, because they're dealing with a lot of um, beloved characters. So, anyways, in terms of scene stealers, I think Maria Baklova, who replaces Miley Cyrus as Lucky. Uh, I just I hear her voice and I just miss her. I feel like she can't. I believe her very first film was Borat, and she had this energy and charm about her that I really love seeing around every now and again. And I feel like we should really like she we should focus on her a bit more, and I hope she gets a chance to shine in other films, because she actually is really great. And yeah, say what you want, I think she's great. um Also, shout out to my guy Sean Gunn. I mean, I just every time I see his face, I think of Kirk and Gilmore Girls, and I don't care what anyone says, like, that will always have a special place in my heart. Lastly, Bradley Cooper, who has never done any press for this movie, who has so much more of a lead role in this film, than other ones. And it's I don't know. I think it's great. I think that like this voice acting, and like Vin Diesel's Groot and his one line that's very very different. Um, I don't know. I just think it's really fun to have like these really big celebrities play these roles, and have, and especially with Bradley Cooper, have him at the forefront, a reason, main protagonist, if you will, in this film. Anyways, if there was one thing I could do to make this movie better, I'd love to see what Star Lord would be doing on Earth. This is actually not a joke. I'd love to see what he's doing on Earth. He's since episode one, since the first film, I would have loved to have seen. Um, yeah, I think I just would have loved to have seen what he would have gotten up to had he just like been caught up on things on Earth and been able to deal with this world that's alien to him, ironically. Um, and I hope we still do get to see that. I hope, if it is Chris Pratt that's coming back as the legendary Star Lord, that we are able to get a chance to see what in the world that he's up to, and how we initiate him back into the universe. But I want to see him on Earth, because I don't think we get um enough stories like this. Like, he has all this tech that, like, I don't know, everything's so alien compared to what it is on Earth. Like, I know we have Spider-Man on Earth who's doing a lot, but that's complicated. But anyways, I'd love to see what's going on there. Anyways, is this required? Yes, actually, I do think it's required. I think it's really, really good to watch these three movies as a series and see how we end, and really round out your characters. We have a lot going on in between films that you just don't get if you only watch the three. However, I do think there's a lot to be learned about how to tell a complete story, um, in three films. I mean, what, we haven't had that since like a few Spider-Man movies. It's truly remarkable to have one person kind of tell this story, and I'm sure it's not without input from people in corner offices, but it's yeah, I think it's complete. Now, like all Guardians of the Galaxy movies, the playlist, or the soundtrack anyway, is a huge deal. Of course, we got a cassette in the first one, a CD in the second one, and then we had a Zune in the third one. And the problem with the Zune, I think I'm real. If I'm being super critical, I did not like the music on this film. It just felt um unloved. It didn't feel like it was given the right pizzazz. It doesn't feel like it was fitting in the same way music fit in the other two movies. So I'm making a mix of 10 songs from the 90s and 10 songs from the 2000s. Let's say the first 10 years of the 2000s. And I'll have a link somewhere here for you to listen to it and check it out. And let me know what songs you would have added to this or what songs I'm completely off about. And I think it'll fit the complete tone of this film much better than the actual soundtrack. I know that's a wild thing for me to say, but I do think that this was not done properly. But with that, Required Watching is a film club. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Do me a favor and subscribe and comment and do those things that I need from you to feel supported and listened to and watched. And until next time, we're a film club. So let me know what we should be watching next. Of course, we'll try to check out some things in theaters. We'll try to check out some things that we still haven't seen on that list, but let me know. Is there anything I should be watching, reading, playing? Tell me. Until next time, guys. Peace.